Hello everyone, my name is Christine Denton, for those who don't know me. I've been a member of First Presbyterian Church almost for 45 years now, so I know a lot of you. Jason asked me to speak to you as a widow in the church. There are 76 verses in the Bible that mentions the word widow. I'm not going to read them all to you. One of the books of the Bible, of course, most of you are familiar with, is Ruth. Ruth, Oprah, and Naomi. Naomi was their mother-in-law, and they were Moabite women who were married to her sons. Well, her husband died and her sons died, so they were all left widows. They were living in Moab, but Naomi wanted to return to Bethlehem. So the two women were going to go with her, and she told them not to. But in Ruth 1:16, Ruth tells Naomi that she would like to go back with her, that her people would be her people and her God would be her God. So Naomi knew that Ruth was not going to go back to Moab, that she would really go to Bethlehem with her. And God uses Ruth in a wonderful way that you have to understand and read the story. But if you read Matthew and Luke, you will see the genealogies of Jesus from Joseph's family and Mary's family. In both families, Ruth is part of the genealogy of Jesus. So she was an ancestor of Jesus. So God used her, I guess, to enable Jesus. But also, Jesus talks about the widow. And I love this widow. She just has such gumption and such vigor. I picture her that way. In Luke 18:1-8, Jesus talks about the persistent widow who goes before an uncaring, not God-fearing judge, and she wants him to rule for her adversity she's having. Well, he'd have nothing to do with her, so she doesn't give up. She keeps going back to him, and eventually the judge gives in because he just doesn't want to be bothered with her anymore. So this is Jesus' way of telling us, I think, to be persistent in what we ask God for. A lot of this had to do with also the second coming, that we need to be persistent in God's way because God is going to return. Jesus uses the widow about the 2 coins. Rich people and a widow were putting money into the offering, and the widow put in 2 coins. And Jesus told the disciples that this money meant more because it was all she had. I know that there are other widows in our church, but I can only speak for myself. But I would like to address my feelings. James 1:27 reads, "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to love other orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." In Bible times, distress was really distress. Women could not own land. They could not own houses. Lots of women could not even have a job. They relied solely on men and the church. Today, it's not that way. We can hold a job. I was a teacher for over 36 years before I retired. I have my own house, and it sits on property, which I own. But I believe that loneliness is a distress that widows suffer from today. Jim and I celebrated our 51st wedding anniversary 2 days before he died. He was in church Sunday and he died Tuesday, so it was very sudden. My children, Christy came from New York and stayed a month to help me, and Matthew, who has been living in Baton Rouge, came over every weekend to help. So that was a kind of a lifesaver there, to have them both with me and caring for me. I have been very involved with the church. I go to Sunday school, go to church every Sunday. I'm a member of the Monday morning prayer group. I go to monthly circle meeting. I go to Wednesday night Bible study, and I even help set tables for cravings. Well, along came COVID-19, and that put a stop to all that. So I felt lonely and was disappointed that I didn't hear from hardly anybody in the church for months, actually. My daughter came and stayed 6 weeks this summer, and I spent 3 weeks in Houston with my son and his new wife. So that enabled me to not feel so lonely. But this has been a good experience in a way for me also, because I feel that I have a greater relationship with God. I trust Him, and when I feel lonely and like nobody cares, I go to Him and I know that He does care. I would like to share a few Bible verses about trust in our relationship with God. Nahum 1:7. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in him. Proverbs 33:5-6, which is a very popular verses in the Bible. Most of you have probably heard this many times. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. That's a good one to think about because we don't understand what's going on. We do what we're told to do. We wear a mask if we need to. We distance ourselves, and this is something we need to submit to and do. Psalm 9:10. And those who know your name put their trust in you, for you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. I think doing this devotion was in my mind all night because I kept waking up thinking about it. But when I woke up this morning, it was so unusual because the refrain from the hymn, Trust and Obey, was going through my mind. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. If anyone feels lonely or just needs someone to talk to, feel free to call me, but always remember, trust and obey.